So I was just kind of curious, like where you fall along the lines of like personal defense, because again, if we're going to take money away from, the sheriff's department, the police departments, and we're kind of trying these new things, where do we allow people to, like, for example, concealed carry is now a big thing. Like how do you view that aspect of things? Because I think again, the public's view of concealed carry is, oh, they just get a gun and they get to carry it and just do whatever. But it's like, no, there's a process. They have to get, evaluated. They have to go in and get interviewed, mental health checks, background checks, firearms training, all kinds of things. So I'm just curious, like, where you are on the spectrum of,
what kinds of gun control initiatives are you for and against here?
So, as a member of the legislature, California was very progressive, going way back decades to former Senator Roberti. In terms of California was one of the first states to really, ban, the kinds of firearms that I don't believe an average citizen needs in their home to protect themselves.
So there were
With magazines that allow you to fire, multiple rounds in seconds.
and unsafe guns, Saturday night specials.
All
Friday
those
night
kinds of
specials,
things.
what do they
And then this new ghost gun scenario where you can order via Amazon parts and assemble a gun that has no serial number,
And then
that
3D
can't be
printers
tracked, and
and all
3D
kinds of-
printers.
yeah.
All of that to me is beyond dangerous. And while I appreciate the perspective of individuals wanting to, for whatever reason, have firearms, if they are willing to go through all of the steps that you talked about. I have a concern when we have law enforcement who kind of open up the gates for concealed carry, and anyone can kind of go in for any reason to be able to walk around in public and carry a firearm legally. I have a problem with that. When the Constitution was written, that was before, and they talked about a citizen militia. That was before we had an LAPD and a sheriff and a highway patrol. We, as residents of this county and state, pay tax dollars to fund. We have professionals who are trained, who take an oath to protect and serve. My hope is that they protect and serve equally and unbiased. And I do have a concern when, my neighbors take it upon themselves with minimal training, whatever the case may be, to think that they are, quote, protecting their property themselves by having a firearm. When
Because-
we look at the statistics and realize the incidents of harm, unintentional, caused in homes, either accidental shootings, domestic violence. There's a gun in the house, it gets heated. There's a firearm, it gets brandished. Those statistics trouble me. And I don't know that there's a way that we can ever compare, how many crimes were averted because a private citizen had a gun, as opposed to how many lives were lost because a private citizen had a gun.